Hello folks, welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by, wait for it, just really wait for it, Inspocrypto. Checking these charts, I'm asking myself why I'm spending so much time with markets. Because it seems that everything really shut down at the moment. So slow motion price action happening at the moment. PPI, it wasn't bullish. It wasn't really bullish. I mean, it's indicating, at least based on the PPI, that inflation didn't decline. So previously we had 0.2%, now we have 0.2%, and people are saying, but that's bullish. Why? I just took one example. You know, I mean, what is that really bullish if you have a big fire and the firelighter didn't fight the fire and he is gone? Is that better than the situation before without the firelighter? I don't think so. It's exactly the same. I mean, he failed to fight the fire, so it's still there. It's the same situation. Nothing have changed. You guys shouldn't adapt to Wall Street's narrative, because otherwise you are the perfect victim for them. Just mentioning that. If you think that's bullish, go for it, champ. Go for it. But please, really, don't cry when they start to dump into you. Don't say it was Sam. Don't say it was Putin. Don't say it was, I don't know. Because it's obvious what they are doing. It's so obvious what they are doing. The big problem, in my opinion, it's a big gap. What is the main or core functionality of a central bank? People think that the central bankers are, you know, those who are, I don't know, driving the markets, driving the whole economy. No. They really have a very limited functionality. And one of them is stabilize the monetary policy, or the monetary system, with their policy, of course. And inflation is, like deflation, is a threat for the monetary system if it's not controllable. Deflation, it's not controllable. That's a big problem. I mean, they can start and print a lot to try to reduce the impact. And the same is happening with inflation. It looks like it's under control now. But I mean, how many times Fed members mentioned that their main goal is to reduce inflation to 2%. And people are saying that's bullish. It's bullish because PPI is holding the same figure like previously. No, it's not. It's just saying no progress happening, even with rate hikes, even with a reduction of balance sheet. Is that bullish? Is that really bullish? I would think about it, to be honest. I really would think about it. However, the markets are not doing anything. Even Bitcoin maintaining there. Right now it looks like it had its retest on the park right now, as you can see, and wants to go up. We will see how far. I mean, we know at 18K, we will talk about that later on. We have sell orders there, bigger sell orders, so I'm ready for both cases. I'm ready if they want to go to 18K to fail there. It's absolutely fine. We have tomorrow another data. So it seems PPI, it wasn't really bullish, but also not really bearish because it didn't went up. Tomorrow we will have core retail sales and retail sales. And the day after, Thursday, Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. So we have everything this week that could give us a nice indication what's happening to the economy related to inflation. That's the main part, and in my opinion, the most interesting one. We will see how the markets will react. In my opinion, it's obvious that it doesn't matter if SPY is big, and it's just a matter of time. I mean, I'm so convinced it's such a matter of time that SPY is big starts to nuke. It will dump, and Bitcoin should follow then, or they will decouple Bitcoin from SPY SPX algo, something they didn't since I don't know how much time. So, but let us think it's possible. Then I could be totally wrong and Bitcoin will go up. The big question is, someone said, hey Inspo, you remember what happened last year? Also, whales sent Bitcoins to exchanges and afterwards we lifted up. Yeah, I remember very well because I have tweeted a lot about July 21st. And I can tell you almost everything what happened there. I can tell you that FTX bought almost 70,000 Bitcoins at that day, or at least from that day until, I don't know, 3-4 weeks later on, or not even that much, 1 week, 7 days or something. While whales started to distribute the way up. Yeah, I remember that. But what happened before? entities, for example, started to accumulate. They are not accumulating, instead they are distributing even more. So just before July 21st, we received a lot of stablecoins. Billions in stablecoins. Of course, printed with thin air. We remember Tether with billions and billions and billions printing. Not happening anymore. So if you want to, I don't know, to compare patterns, or you need to check also everything else, why it happened. Because the question of why is the key question. Why and who did that? What was the interest? Okay, so if we check, for example, what did Coinbase? Just go to Google and just introduce Crypto Winter Coinbase CFO, Chief Financial Officer. What did Coinbase just last summer? They bought the dip, they sold afterwards, and just 1 or 2 weeks later, the CFO Coinbase told, now we are ready for the crypto winter. Just imagine, that was in August or in September last year. Okay, they sold Bitcoin, if I'm not totally wrong, a volume of 4 billions or something. So, but I guess that they thought that the crypto winter is going to be, you know, like holidays, vacation, 6 weeks, that's it, and everything is fine. And now they are saying, no, it's not. And it has a bigger impact to the whole market. FTX collapse wasn't really part of their strategy, I guess. But that's what's happening right now. So do me a favor. Really, do me a favor. Think 2 steps forward. Because otherwise, I can try to provide as much information as I can, but you will not understand what I'm trying to tell you. In my opinion, the whole thing is extremely obviously what's going to happen next. We are not done. Not Bitcoin and not equities. The only opportunity for Bitcoin is to decouple from equities. If that's not going to happen, and I don't think it's going to happen, then in my opinion, it explains very well why a lot of Bitcoins are arriving to centralized exchanges once again, like I tweeted today. In my opinion, it's part and also verified by the weights ratio 30 days moving average, something we will check right after this comment. it's just indicating whales are not done. We will go even lower, or at least we will see such kind of spring scenario where I can imagine that we will, try to get to 15K, and someone is going to wait there and will just absorb as much as it can, and then we will go up hard. That could be a case, but I don't see it yet. So let us go forward and check what's going to happen here. We can see that SPY FTX are reacting to DXY. Someone said, because I don't know, that DXY is not coupled to Bitcoin. I never said that DXY is coupled to Bitcoin. I always said that SPY or Bitcoin is coupled to SPY. Even most, or mainly, in my opinion, if I check, and I'm checking the charts every day, it's reacting almost to every single move by SPY, not even to SPX. And SPY reacts to DXY. So indirectly, DXY has an effect to Bitcoin, but not directly. I don't see a direct coupling between both assets. So let us check, and I will try to make once again a very quick analysis. And as you know, quick for me means it will take some hours. So let us go forward. We can see here, as expected, the whales ratio is lifting up even more. Even yesterday maintained a very high level of 59. So also here indicating whales sending more Bitcoins. And I mean, we just need to check that here. That's big. That's really big. Look, the reserves rising after we had even a retailer bank run. So that's really huge. But some people are still bullish. I'm fine with that. I mean, of course we can go up, and someone strong that prints its money can push up buying, but it's a different time and different story like last year. A lot of things changed since then, and we need to take into account all this as well. So if we go forward, and that's what I said, because that's why I were expecting just, a rising price. It's just because whales stopped since midnight, I would say. They stopped to send much more Bitcoins to the centralized exchanges, indicating these guys are the main driver, and they thought, okay, let us reduce our pressure, because we are going to sell in upper prices. But you see what's happening. I mean, the bullish reaction is not looking strong or solid. So I would be extremely careful. And of course, the whales ratio 30 hours moving average is declining hard right now, but the daily not. So we should be extremely careful. Stablecoin supply lifted up very much, at least related to CryptoQuant. I have on CoinMarketCap, I can check what the market cap for USDT and also for USDT, USDC, and BUSD. And to be honest, I don't know where CryptoQuant has this information, but I can see, for example, that USDT declined from November 11th until today. The market cap reduced from 69.8 billion to 66 billion, almost 4 billion less. So if we check, for example, now USDC, they did 43.63 billion November 11th to right now 44 billion, so not even 1 billion. And even BUSD did almost 1 billion and a little bit more. So I don't know why CryptoQuant is showing that. I really can't tell you, but you know, we need to use this information. However, the stablecoin supply is indicating market or stablecoin and money is coming into the market, but it's not really clear if it's just to refill the reserves of centralized exchanges, because at the same time, while we have bigger outflows, we can see that, you know, it maintains, even it's reducing, it's declining at the moment, it maintains very well. So let us go forward. So let us see what our flow chart is indicating here, because yesterday was a very interesting day. I mean, just to show you, no, I show you the stablecoin inflows first. We can see that almost every time, not every time, but almost every time when we receive such an amount of 150 millions, something happens afterwards. Really something. So like here, they push up afterwards. And yesterday between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m., so within 5 hours, we received a bunch of stablecoins. So really a lot. 200 millions here, 340 millions here, 500 millions here, another 450 millions here, another 140 millions here. So we are talking about more than 1 billion US dollars in stablecoins. That's really a lot. The problem I have with that is as soon as I check the outflows, because it correlates. It correlates. We have here 300 million, we have here 330 million, we have here 515 million, we have here another 310 million, we have here another 270 million. So also here it correlates very well. We can see, for example, also here all stable coins, that's the net flow. So it went up but even more down, indicating that the net flow was even negative, indicating they had a bigger outflow in stablecoins than inflows. But why happens that? So what's the point? The point is someone is reacting to the sells. So when they are noticing they're selling, they send stablecoins, and of course the seller take out his stablecoins. So that's why it correlates. If we start and enable both, you see how the correlation looks like. Only when it stops to correlate, for example here you have more inflows than outflows, the price goes up. Like here, afterwards a pump. Here the price goes a little bit more up. Then they push the price down once again. And so on and so forth. Like here. Also here, for example, only 34 millions versus 160 millions, so the price goes up. Now here it correlates once again. We have even bigger outflows than inflows. So the main problem of this market is bulls have lost their balls. That's the big problem. Nothing is happening here. So I don't know if the market is in a critical situation because of the FTX collapse, and many funds, maybe, they are saying, too hot right now, so I'm not going to spend a lot of money in this market right now. I really can't tell you that. But it is obvious that we are not receiving, without any kind of correlation, huge amounts of stablecoins. You only can buy Bitcoin via fiat and we know that SPX is done, FTX is done, so we have one fiat BTC provider last now. We have Bitfinex, I guess maybe Kraken, and that's it, right? I can't remember we have many others. And Kraken is not going to replace in volume FTX. Maybe Bitfinex, I don't know. But the fact is, the biggest pair related to Bitcoin is a stablecoin Bitcoin pair. No big stablecoins are coming in. So what's the deal? In my opinion, not really bullish. We can see 6,584 Bitcoins outflow, afterwards another 2,700, and so on and so forth. Also that correlates very well. Let us disable this one. Let us, that's the net flow, I just want the inflows. We see here 3,749, another 3,400 Bitcoins inflow, then another 6,000 Bitcoins, even more in 3 hours, almost 10,000 Bitcoins in 3 hours. Then afterwards here another 3,000 Bitcoins, another 3,300 Bitcoins, and so on and so forth. Just 2 hours ago another 2,000 Bitcoins. So at the moment they are distributing at 17k. And we are not talking about retailers. We are not talking about a market absolutely in panic and fear and selling as much as they can. Big entities are reducing their bags, not retailers. So the big question is, what the hell is happening here? I'm missing something. Yeah, we are missing something. I think that the market is cooling down. It's just, even I think we will have some sharp price moves in the next few days. But right now that looks really calmy at the moment. So let us go forward. So what's happening related to future market, for example? Well, we can see that, look that's the funding rate. It's also here obviously that many are just trying to long it. Because, at the moment everything looks well. We did 15.6, yeah, we had just such kind of retest, not really at 15.8. Afterwards we went up big and just to liquidate shorts, and that's it. At the moment nothing big is happening. We can see here, for example, 376 millions in outflows, stablecoin outflows on derivatives. That's not big at all. At least we had biggers. What we see here, for example, while the funding rate was declining, or is declining, big amounts of Bitcoins related to derivative exchanges. Nothing compared to what we have last week. That was the biggest one this morning at 3 a.m., 6,200 Bitcoins. At the same time, their outflow is relatively low. Here was the maximum, that was yesterday, or no, this midnight, 2,649 Bitcoins. If we check that here, because the funding rate is not lifting up more, instead it looks like, we have here up, down, up, next down. We will see, because it would correlate to the information I have tweeted. I don't know who was the follower. I need to check, because, well, right now, I guess you know that it was you, because I really don't know the name now. But he tweeted about the Bitfinex longs. He showed very nice illustrated on a chart. Every time before we had a sharp price move to the downside, they started to liquidate, or at least to close their longs. And they did it once again. So is all this money, or at least Bitcoins, related to these waves, you know, long, short, long, short, long, short. I don't know. We will see. But I'm still very bearish at the moment. Really very bearish. So let us go forward. I mean, we went up, we went down. We had here almost 6,000 bitcoins in longs liquidated. Afterwards, another, I don't know, I would say 3,000-4,000 bitcoins afterwards, and that's it. Since then, nothing more happened. We remember the huge short liquidation happened just end of October, and that's it. I mean, open interest is not coming back. You know, you can see that. We see that even leverage ratio is not coming back, and funding rate is the only thing that maintains and that lifted up. So, to be honest, I was a little bit, why is the open interest not lifting up? Why is the leverage ratio not lifting up? You know, that's Binance. I mean, check Binance. Open interest, it's like flat. We have just a leverage ratio went up, it's declining, and that's the funding rate. So, but everything I show you here, that's spot and that's derivative. And they have a very clear trend. That's spot and that's derivative. So less money, less traders, and so less open interest. But why that low, I can't tell you, to be honest. It looks like some people capitulate, but capitulation this time doesn't mean they said, do you know what, that's it. I'm done. I'm done and I will sell everything. And no, it seems it's much more, well, then I take my money out. That's it. I don't know, it looks like a little bit. If we take a look to BitMEX, at least on Binance, shorts coming in, longs maintaining, reduced, but you know, and the same on Bitfinex. So they reduced their shorts, and it seems some longs came in, but nothing big. Also here, 61 to 39. Yeah, what should I say? Let us check the Kingfisher and see what, maybe I should spin. Give me a blue. Give me blue, 3 credits. That's also fine. Thank you very much. Let us check what the liquidation map is showing here. Well, nothing. I mean, the only thing we see is we have here a big liquidation cluster, and I mean, we have here 150 million potentially liquidations, and that looks like, you know, I mean, if we check that, we see here 20,360. So the price has to, from here, to do $3,300 to liquidate all these guys here. I don't think it's going to happen, but it looks really, wow. It doesn't look great at all, to be honest. Absolutely not. But this one is the biggest. We have here, for example, 147. That's a liquidation cluster. 147 millions at the same price. Do you think that's a retailer? Do you think retailers called each other? At least I missed that call, and said, hey, let us short big with low or mid leverage. Let us make that, okay? Something like leverage 5 to 10 or something. Let us do that on Binance. Believe me, let us do it. And every millions of retailers said, yeah, cool, let us do it. Otherwise, that wouldn't make any sense. At one price, 147 million in liquidation cluster. How is that possible? It seems someone big is shorting the market. It is what it is. Let us go forward. So what we see here, for example, is what Binance Spot is doing related to CBD. We can see it maintains the level. Right now from here started to distribute, now maintaining while the price is lifting up. How is that possible? Well, it seems someone else is pushing the price a little bit more up, but the most bullish thing here is stablecoin futures or Bitcoin futures. Where's the difference? Well, you have a margin collateral here, a collateral of, for example, USDT, a stablecoin, and here directly collateral Bitcoin. So you can short Bitcoin and generate Bitcoin. You can long Bitcoin and make more Bitcoins with it. That's the goal of it. So at the moment, indicating they are longing with Bitcoins, and that happens usually they can hedge. So they sell spot and hedge with the Bitcoin long, for example, just to hedge it. Or they are expecting the price goes up, even if it's short term. Also possible. I mean, they started, if we check, for example, what they did, they started to long big here, and afterwards the price started to lift up. When they are done, they will start to take profit, and also the price will go down. So it could be very soon, to be honest. That's what also can happen. So if we go forward, we can see what Bitfinex is doing. Bitfinex, and that's one thing that Bitfinex loves to do, is they start to sell spot and they start to long with Bitcoin collateral. Potentially, one scenario that could play out right now, not sure, but the fact is that the Bitfinex CBD is indicating that they are selling a lot. I mean, a CBD of minus 2,000 Bitcoins for Bitfinex, that's really big in just one day, while the price is going up. So also here indicating, in my opinion, that's a trend. And as long as we maintain that trend, this channel, everything is fine. We went up, we went down, up, down, retest. We are maintaining that area, and as soon as we will go down. The question is when? Triggered by an event, or just, it's a matter of time. However, we also see what Coinbase doing, and that explains maybe what the price, why the price is reacting. And also here, if you check, they started to flip to a positive CBD after their distribution, and Bitcoin collateral started here. So the question is if these guys are behind it. Also possible. Just imagine you are MicroStrategy and underwater. You can use your Bitcoins, for example, to just to make more Bitcoins while you use some liquidity, 500 millions, for example. That's just one number I had in mind. It's not the number that MicroStrategy just announced few weeks ago to buy more Bitcoin or something. No. So potentially it's possible that they are using Coinbase to push up, because future market alone doesn't work. So they need to push up spot as well to generate some profit related to futures as well. So, and this guy started here, and I mean, they are, we are talking about 1,600, 1,800 Bitcoins positive CBD. It's not that bad, to be honest. It's absolutely not bad at all. We can check, for example, what's happening here. We can see, for example, that's the daily. We can see we had bigger outflows from centralized exchanges. People were very many. I don't know. I mean, something. Yeah. The thing why I started to use metrics blockchain to analyze the market, not only because it's extremely useful, just because I have detected last year that many of these guys are using these tools to confirm their bias or bias. I'm not going to mention any names, but very influencers, really big blockchain analysts. And, I mean, when you see that, of course, after such a dump, you say they are right now buying big and accumulating. So to confirm their accumulation, obviously the next step is to look to the entities and check if big entities, for example, are rising its balances. It's not the case, instead declining. But however, they are spreading the big news. Look, 130,000 bitcoins just outflow within few days. And that's why I tweeted today, just to making a little analysis about the entities, indicating you, that's was driving by wallets with less than 100 bitcoins. So small whales and retailers. And what a coincidence. An outflow of 120,000 bitcoins. And 135,000 bitcoins was the big outflow. And they said, that's bullish. So a bank run is bullish. It's not. And that's the problem I have right now, because the net flows are very foggy. You can't separate. Only you can confirm with the entities, but you can't see with a net flow chart, even not if it's provided by Glassnode, for example, just to make it clear. I'm not using Glassnode. I know why I'm not using Glassnode, by the way. However, but the thing is, you need to confirm the data that you see. If you can't confirm it, ignore the data. That's a big, that's a golden rule if you're checking any kind of data. Try to confirm this data with a separate source. If you can't do it, ignore the data. Because you don't know if this data is the truth. So, like I'm doing with CryptoQuant, when I'm confirming the data with separate sources, you should do it every time with any kind of data if possible. These guys are saying that's bullish because of the outflow, while only small entities are rising their balances. As mentioned, in 1 week, 120,000. What a coincidence that it matches perfectly to the bank run related to FTX, because many were spreading, your keys, your bitcoins, and so on and so forth. We know that works very fine with retailers. So that explains a lot. But what nobody is showing you, and some people are asking why I'm using BTC in and out alert right now. I can tell you, I was talking with these guys just close before they started with its website. I know the main developer behind the project, and we had to chat last year. Just to work each other, and then they did this pay website, but it wasn't clear. You had to apply on Telegram. I don't know. So I used then CryptoQuant. But for me, this website was always the first point to confirm what I'm seeing on CryptoQuant, because I had really interesting and exciting chat with these guys. They are from Italy, by the way, and they are doing a very great job. We had discussions also even last year about what CryptoQuant, Glassnode are providing, and that it doesn't make sense sometimes what they are showing, mainly on Glassnode. But it's not food, it's, it's just my personal opinion. But however, the whole situation flipped and even confirmed by the Bitcoin balance on centralized exchanges. They are rising once again. What does that show you? That's a preparation. And that explains why the Wales ratio 30 days moving average is rising. That's the thing. So if you check that, in my opinion, the big thing is still to come. At least we will have a bigger sell pressure. The question is, who is going to absorb? I don't know yet. I really don't know yet. If we check, for example, what open interest CME Bitcoin futures by category, hedge funds, we know that hedge funds loves to, to manipulate and so on and so forth. And we see here they declined their shorts from almost 800 millions to 600 millions. I thought, wow, that's great. But the problem is they did the same with the longs. They from 350 to 230. So they are still more shorting than longing. And that's a big problem because I think these guys are not done yet. That could also explain a lot of things. If we check, for example, here, look, that's a bank run. That's just, they bought here the dip, but if you compare both the angle, how it rised, that's crazy. Even these guys here. So everything after, if we check the entities with 100 to 1000 Bitcoins, look that. It's not rising anymore. This guy loves to buy the dip, go up, distribute in the upper levels, and go down once again. Entities like the market maker, that's not a bank run. From October 28th, they balanced was showing 4,880,000 Bitcoins. Now they are showing 4,650,000 Bitcoins. Is that bullish? I don't think so. We can see that, for example, here, entities or wallets related mostly, almost 80 to 90% of all wallets, because we have almost 100 wallets linked to this entity, are linked to centralized exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, Bitfinex, and so on and so forth. Bitfinex, if you check the last reserves that they published, you can see they own more than 200,000 Bitcoin, something that's crazy, because if you check their volume, what they operate every day, that's a joke. Why 200,000 Bitcoins? Well, Bitfinex, Tether is one group. Just to mention that. And yeah, as we can see here as well, the market maker is very active, sending more Bitcoins out of their balances. 1,900 here, another 1,200, another 1,500, another 1,200, another 2,500, another 2,800, and so on and so forth. The problem here is it looks like distribution. They are not aggressive. They are not trying to generate any fear. It's completely a different story to last year. Completely different to last year. But that's what we can see right now. And yeah, that makes me extremely bearish at the moment. Even I really thought it's time to see such kind of bullishness, but it's the data. It's just the data. Let us go forward. So Coinbase is not showing anything. Yeah, we have still this sandwich here, a lot of liquidity waiting. my personal opinion, because some people think, wow, it's, all this liquidity is just there to prevent that the price can go to zero. I have a different interpretation, because, if an entity with 4 million bitcoins, and you have there some entities, or at least, I don't know, actors, they are really big, if they want really to push down the price to zero, not to zero, but, they will do it. They will do it. I mean, if we check the market maker entities, they accumulated between 2018 and 2020 at a very low price. So even if they sell at 12K, they are making money. They don't care. I mean, they will push the price down to 12K and then rebuy at 11K, because many will start to, even also, I guess, retailers, and then they can start, but they are not accumulating yet. Instead, they are reducing more the balances. And people, I mean, even for me, it's crazy to see that they are still selling, but I know they are making big gains. Still making big gains. The big business, the big deal happened last year in October, November. They sold there enough. And afterwards, with the whole, I wouldn't say crash, but, So, what we see here at the moment is someone is not going to prevent that, but they want a slow dump and let them trigger all these orders and then go up. Not saying we will trigger all of them until 10,000. I really don't know what the bottom can be it. I really can't tell you that. I really don't any clue what it could be. I thought 24K and it was absolutely wrong. So I can't tell you that. But that doesn't look like we are done. Only just because we have this liquidity here. Let us go to the next one. Deribit is pure derivatives. They are after the 20K, nothing more happening. Bitstamp is spot. Also here waiting, for example, below 15K. I still think 50K is going to be our milestone. We will see how far they want to push down. But in my opinion, we need to go to 15K first. Binance Spot, for example, they are limiting the way up, so they reduced, or they even, they reduced a lot at 18K, but we still have the wallet 18K, 18.2, and now at 18.6 in case someone wants to go up big so they can distribute. Of course, we have even here where we have different POCs between both levels. We have also liquidity. They removed liquidity below 15K at the moment and reinforced a little bit at 15.5 and so on and so forth. So in my opinion, we should go down at 16K, maintain here. At a certain moment, we will go even more down. But the question is, first up, then down, or first down, then up? I don't know. We will see that. Bitfinex Spot also waiting between 15.5 and 15K. We can see here we have at 18.9. Wow, look, the sell orders. A lot of sell orders. No big buy orders here, but look the sell orders. Wow. OKEX Spot. Nothing distributing. We can see that. That's the CBD. Kraken maintaining, not doing anything. Also here at 18.1. Also here at 17.5 and waiting at 15K. Bybit, nothing. BitMEX, nothing. Binance Futures, strange at 19k waiting to short. A lot of shorts waiting here, but a lot of longs here as well. It looks more promising, at least related to futures, to go up to short from 19k than to go down. Bitfinex derivatives shorting at the moment. Futures on Kraken longing at the moment. OKEX futures longing, but just, and that's it. And OKEX swap also here maintaining, nothing happening after they distributed. So also here that's it.